Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend D.G. Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes, or go to patreon.com/CapesandLunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Ron Mars. You are listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
In brightest day,
in blackest nights,
no evil shall escape my sight,
but those who worship evil's might.
Beware my power.
Green Lantern's light. Hello and welcome back to Sector 2814, the Green Lantern podcast. I am Phil. Joining me as always, the master of the core. It is
I am Will. Hey, everyone.
And this time we're back to talk War of the Green Lanterns Part 3 from... I read them all here. Alright, it's from Green Lantern number 66, Green Lantern Corps 16, Green Lantern Emerald Warriors number 10. Alright, so... Oh, that music's long. Alright, so, but... did you see that link I sent you a few hours ago?
Yes, I did. So what Phil's talking about is the link to the announcement about the True Detective style Green Lantern show that's set to hit Max with Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart in the lead. I think the Games Radar link was what it was, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it wasn't official before, but now I guess it's official. Like that, HBO or Max has ordered that. There's an order for the show now, and officially we're getting a show now.
Yeah, and I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful, but having a an older Hal Jordan with a younger rookie Jon Stewart, I think that can work. I just hope we're not headed for a Beware My Power type situation here.
Hopefully not. Yeah. I mean, maybe by older, maybe he's like 5 years older. Something like nothing like major. It's not like he's his dad's age or something. Hopefully it's not like.
Yeah, hopefully doesn't have the gray temples and parallax is coming. Whatever.
I was going to say we know what that's a sign of. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, and I'm like I said, I'm still trying to keep an open mind, and I want to enjoy this. I want this to be good. But I want DC Cosmic, right?
Yes.
Investigating stuff on Earth. I'm sure it's work, and it can definitely work. It's just, Green Lantern is not about the Earth. Green Lantern is about the DC Cosmos, or the Guardians of the Galaxy, and all of these, ginormous science fiction ideas, thrown together.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely wanting it to be good, and I'm certainly going to be watching it. And I hope it doesn't necessarily stay centered on Earth for too long. I know it's kind of the linchpin, according to that article, it's kind of the linchpin of the story that they want to tell across all of the different movies and everything. So it's just been a very long wait for, awesome live-action Green Lantern.
Yeah. And I didn't see any pictures of any Green Lanterns, but did you see they were starting to leak like behind the scenes pictures from the new Superman movie?
Superman, yeah, that looks pretty good. I mean, there was Mr. Terrific.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. When's it going to come out? Is it coming out in 2025 or 2026?
I think it's 2025 here, but I'm pretty sure it's next year.
Okay.
Oh, and then also. Yes, breaking news. August 1st will be the first episode of Batman Cape Crusader, the new animated show.
Batman, my favorite character.
I've heard some good things about that. I've seen it popping up in my feed a little bit.
Yes, and after my interview with Mr. J.M.D. Mateus, my latest one, Capes and Lunatics episode 332, he said he wrote an episode for season 2, so they're already working on season 2 of that show. So
nice,
yes.
Very nice. Yeah, how did that go? I'm sorry I wasn't able to attend.
Oh, good. It was great. I mean, talked about all his Kickstarter stuff. Phase 2's about to begin. The campaign. Talked to his Spider-Man, Shadow of the Green Goblin miniseries. Yeah, he has a Batman miniseries coming up here. Batman Robin Lives. Yeah, and then he said Cape Crusader. He wrote an episode for that. Then we started talking. He has some novels which are
cool.
he described as like some of them like Twilight Zone-esque, which he was describing them. It sounded pretty cool.
Any word on a collection of perhaps the Spectre or lots of his work?
I didn't ask him, but I mean he's always beating the drum of they need to reprint this stuff. But
yeah, I mean there are some truly beautiful stories in that Spectre series that he did.
But yeah, he's always working. That's what I said. That's what I told him. Every time it seems like I talk to him, he has at least 3 or 4 things going.
Mm-hmm.
Because as I said, I'm like, can you shut your brain off? He's like, I think the longest I've gone like trying to take a break was like a week. He just says,
that makes sense.
Yeah, stuff just pours out. All right, Superman. The new Superman movie's coming. Yes, next year, July 11th next year. So we're a little over a year out from Superman.
Okay, and Green Lantern is sometime next year or 2026.
Trying to remember.
Did it say in the article?
Yeah, I don't know if it mentioned because again, haven't they retold at least once on this thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think they have.
Yeah.
So.
The new series which ties into James Gunn's burgeoning DC movie universe, Green Lanterns. Yeah, Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart will take the lead, with actor Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner also likely to appear after debuting in 2025 Superman.
Oh, okay.
So it sounds like it's kind of, if it does
after.
drop next year, it's going to be after Superman. So in the later half of next year, maybe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So, well, we might get Guy in there too. Where's Kal Rayner?
They may be saving him for the Parallax story.
Maybe. I was going to say, I mean, come on, you want this thing to succeed. Come on, you need a Kal Rayner there. Come on.
Okay, so I have a question for you. I think you know that when thinking about storylines for Green Lantern, if they never, ever, ever, never, ever do another power battery blow up story again.
It'll be too soon, yes.
It'll still be too soon. However, would you be willing to accept, a parallax power battery explosion type thing for the live action?
Oh, maybe. I mean, well, all right, let me turn that around on you. Would you be willing to accept, even if it's only temporary, a Emerald Twilight storyline with Hal Jordan in his most infamous role?
I think so. I think if it's done really well, I think it would be not like Beware My Power. That burned so much story potential for I'm not even sure what effect, but it just did. But to bring those stories to a wider audience, I think so, because those, they are defining stories for Green Lantern.
Yes.
Right? And I don't just mean Hal Jordan. I mean Green Lantern as a concept, with Guy and with John and Kyle and, everybody. So I think...
Look at you growing up. Before you would have been like, no Emerald Twilight, no matter what.
But, there's no Emerald Twilight coming for that animated universe, whatever that was. That's whatever that thing is. But, just to have... Because those, Emerald Twilight, Rebirth, Sinestro Corps War, Blackest Night, those are core... pardon me. Those are really core stories for what Green Lantern has become since, in the modern age, right? Mm-hmm. Because that's what we all point to. And it, to be able to take those stories and have them shared with a wider audience, I think would be really, really cool. And, perhaps make a lot more Green Lantern fans because, these are the important stories, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Now, I do worry a little bit, and it's not, because, again, I don't know anything, but I worry that Green Lantern could potentially be sidelined because, he's not Batman, Superman.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's especially those animated movies. It seems like they focus, they only think Batman and Superman sell for the most part on those things.
So, I have faith in Gunn, and yes. I think that this is going to be good. So, but yeah, I think I would accept it. So what about you? Would you, that would be a certain way to introduce, I don't know, a Green Lantern that you might kind of like, right?
Maybe.
Who would that be, Phil? I don't remember who that is.
I, of course, love Kyle Rayner. You can see his Funko.
Exactly.
You can see his Funko over there. You can see that 3D printed mask over there, and that ring set over
there. Yeah. So, and let's see. I think I should get, probably within the next week, I should get the latest issue of Green Lantern, which you said was good, but I've not.
Yes.
I've tried to avoid spoilers on it so far. So.
Oh yeah. That's War Journal came out last week. I believe that was last week, right?
Oh, was that issue 10 or 11?
I think it was
10.
I think it was 10. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
All right. So should we get to the War of the Green Lanterns?
Yeah, I actually have a criticism of.
We're acting like this. We're acting like this is Brightest Day.
Nice. I actually have a criticism of a very specific plot point that we'll get into, I'm sure. Because I think it did one of our guys dirty, but that's okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I know you know what I'm talking about.
I know. When we get there, you can rain your disapproval down on us.
Yes. Indeed.
All right. All right. Let me do this smart here. Oh.
War of the Green Lanterns hardcover.
Nice. All right. Let me be all fancy here. All right. So. Yes, we begin tonight with Green Lantern number 66. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Green Lantern number 66. All right, there's it on the app. From July 2011, War of the Green Lanterns, Part 7. Writer Jeff Johns, penciler Doug Mank, inkers Christian Alamy, Keith Champagne, Mark Irwin, and Tom Guyan, colorist Randy Mayer, letterer Nick J. Napolitano, and editors Brian Cunningham and Darren Shawn. Hal and Guy fight the entity-possessed Guardians. The Guardians slowly gain the advantage, forcing Guy to finally brandish the power gauntlet. However, Krona appears and unleashes a powerful blast that knocks Hal and Guy unconscious. Meanwhile, Sinestro remains trapped in the Book of the Black. In its pages, Sinestro is still the Green Lantern of Korugar. He is attacked by a manhunter, but Sinestro defeats it. Then Sinestro remembers that he is no longer a Green Lantern. Enraged, Sinestro tears through the book's pages and sees the new Guardian's memory. Sinestro sees St. Walker spending time with his family, Larfleeze's childhood, and Atrocitus attacking a Green Lantern. Finally, he gets to a page where he is trapped in a cage with Indigo One. Sinestro is attacked by Indigo One, who at that time was a violent and aggressive person. Indigo One claims that Albin Sur imprisoned her, but Sinestro does not care. He then escapes to another page. Then Sinestro arrives to a page where he meets Krona. He says that while Sinestro's heart is strong, his will is not. Krona then sets the page Sinestro is on fire. Krona envelops Hal and Guy in the same bandages he was wrapped in. He reveals his plan to the Earthmen. He wants them to become the new Guardians of the Universe. So...
And if that doesn't prove that he's completely insane, nothing does, okay?
Yes, Guy Gardner is a Guardian of the Universe, okay.
Or Hal as a Guardian of the Universe.
Boy, too bad we don't have an Earthman who is already a Guardian.
John Stewart, excuse me. This one was pretty good. I like how they played a little bit with the Guardians actually feeling something, because they were possessed by the entities.
Yes.
I thought that was neat. And then Krona just being, Krona. So, because he's got the crazy eyes, okay?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then just Sinestro trapped in the Book of the Black.
Yeah. This is some really cool foreshadowing, about Sinestro being a Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
Since with New 52, there is a definite change in status quo for a lot of the Green Lantern stuff. You know.
And again, it could be foreshadowing without calling it out, because if people see Sinestro as a Green Lantern, it's like, he used to be a Green Lantern.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a memory.
And I'm trying to remember, did we pay this off about Indigo One being locked up and claiming Albin Sur locked her up? I can't remember.
I don't I don't know. I mean, we'll have to just kind of watch for that because, I mean, the Indigo Tribe, at least up to now, there's really not much known about them, right? And I don't know if that gets paid off later in, the Jeff Johns run or not. I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Mm-hmm. That's just so funny. You got Hal and Guy in those robes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, like you said, this is a good one. But I think like last time, I mean, these move pretty quickly.
They do, yeah. I mean, and they're using, low panel per page counts.
Again, you got maybe 3 to 4 panels on most pages. Yeah.
Yep. And there's a lot of text on the pages, so it's not just pretty pictures, but these do read fast. And I think they're meant to read fast because things are accelerating toward the climax that we get fairly soon.
All right. Anything else? Should we move on to part 2?
Well, let's do part 2 where our guy was done dirty again.
Mm-hmm. All right, Green Lantern. Oh, hold on. Throw the cover up because this might be my favorite one this week. Green Lantern Corps number 6. Oh no, there we go. All right, Green Lantern Corps number 60.
Oh yeah, this is a good cover.
Yes, War of the Green Lanterns Part 8 from July 2011. Writer Tony Bedard, penciler Tyler Kirkham, inker Matt Banning, colorist Rod Reyes and Nye Ruffino, letterer Pat Brousseau, and editors Brian Cunningham and Darren Shawn. John and Kyle arrive at Mogo and discover that Mogo is sending rings to potential Green Lantern candidates. Realizing that these candidates will also be corrupted, John constructs a dome and encases all the rings. Then John and Kyle discover a cave that leads to Mogo's core. Suddenly, the rings escape from the dome construct. Kyle believes that his blue ring can heal Mogo, so the two travel to Mogo's core. Kyle uses his ring to construct an image of Pole, Vaz's deceased lover. This frees her from the impurity, encouraging Kyle and John to continue. They arrive at Mogo's core, and Kyle generates an image of Buzzed, Mogo's former partner. Suddenly, Kyle's ring detects a Black Lantern impurity. John realizes that the impurity was caused when Mogo absorbed the Black Lanterns to save Oa. Kyle tries to purify Mogo, but the Black Lantern energy is too strong. Suddenly, several lanterns attack them. John then hears Krona saying that the rings Mogo sent will create new lanterns that will conquer the universe. Enraged, oh boy, red ring. Enraged, John taps into the Black Lantern energy and takes Kyle into space. John then constructs a sniper rifle and prepares to fire a bullet into Mogo's core. Realizing that this will kill Mogo, Kyle tries to talk John down. However, John refuses and fires the bullet, killing Mogo.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, it's like, if you wanted to do the whole, he has to sacrifice by taking out a Green Lantern, that's one thing. But it's like, really, you have him doing another planet again?
Yeah. I mean, and that was... So, Kyle's thing... Well, I have two problems with... I mean, this was a good issue. It really was. Yeah. But I have two kind of plot things that kind of bother me on this. The first one being is, they free a Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
What happens? Does she just fly off and, go have a smoothie somewhere? Or, does she... We don't see her anymore, okay? And then, two... so she could have helped, right? Mm-hmm. But two, Kyle's was his blue light was working.
Mm-hmm.
John could tap into the blue light and help Kyle, but he goes immediately to just taking him out, right?
Yep.
That seemed really off to me. He got shown the psychic connection to Mogo that all these rings are out there and there's going to be lots of death and destruction, but I didn't really buy that because as soon as they get a ring, they're coming back to Oa. They're not going out and in a killing frenzy. I mean, they will eventually.
Yeah.
But they're coming back to Oa. So it's the... okay. Spoilers. Mogo's not dead. I mean, he is, but he's not. He comes back during New 52, and he's around in, the rebirth era of the books, Green Lanterns and Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. But this just felt, I don't know, kind of, hey, here's something big happening for reasons that don't make a lot of sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
and again, it just feels like we're hitting all the negative highlights of John here. It's like, yeah, okay, he takes out a planet again. Oh yeah, he saw his dead wife. Yeah, the image of his dead wife too. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, Zanchi. So,
and again, there's a problem when John will do something, and even guys like, yeah, no, you shouldn't have done that. Mm-hmm. You know, when guys don't voice a reason. Yeah,
and I really like coming up, which we'll talk about in a second, that the person that does the important thing to get them to the next step is Guy, instead of Hal. I mean, I think that was really good. I feel like Kyle and John don't. I mean, Kyle and John don't get a lot of really. We talked last time about they should have stayed because getting Parallax out of the battery would solve all their problems versus taking out Mogo, which solves just a tiny part of their problem.
Yeah, if it had all gone to the battery, maybe Mogo could have been free. Although there's that whole thing. I mean, I kind of like it that they didn't just gloss over that from Blackest Night, where because Mogo did absorb all that Black Lantern energy. But
yeah, so I mean, this one.
I wonder, do you think this is a byproduct of, hey, we have a different writer on each book, so it's like, when they were, like, plotting this out, they're like, okay, Tony, in your issue, you're going to have to kill Mogo, and then leave it up to him to come up with the reason for,
Maybe, I don't know, it just seems contrived to me a little bit. I mean, the rest of the book is really good, John and Kyle working together to get down there, although I still think... And I think a very fair criticism of the Jeff Johns run is that Kyle gets ignored, I think, fairly regularly, but John gets ignored much, much more, during this era. We can go all the way back to the beginning of this series. John is Hal's partner, but he goes undercover for like a year, and we don't see him in the book, for like 18 issues or something crazy. I mean,
I wonder if that's a combination of writers have preferences for certain characters like Hal Jordan and stuff, and two, it's like before Rebirth. I mean, that decade before Rebirth, it was all Kyle. You had John in there too, so it's like maybe it was just like, oh yeah, these two had the spotlight for the last decade before this, so.
Still,
I know
it's not even if that is the reason, it's still not a good reason.
No, no, trust me, I want more Kyle Rayner. So.
Yeah, I mean, and I feel like Kyle being in the core book is good because he kind of took over as the lead in that book after Blackest Night, right? Or like after Blackest Night, or was it pre Blackest Night because it was after Sinestro Corps War because it was after the Ion series, right?
Yeah.
But yet John just seems kind of lost in all this. And I know this is a big moment that they're giving him at the end here, but again, it feels a little contrived to me.
And I think part of this is like the thing I don't like is when they make John like the soldier and stuff, which again, I mean, I guess in your modern Green Lantern Corps, you're kind of going to get it like a military vibe, but they're really playing up, oh, he's the Marine and stuff. Again, it's like I liked when he was the architect, when he was like the cerebral one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think we get back to a bit of that as him being more a strategist and things like, especially in the Green Lantern War Journal book right now.
Yes.
We get that. But also, in, and I haven't read these yet, so, later New 52, like Green Lantern, Edge of Oblivion, and what's the other limited series at the time? There's another like 6-issue mini, Green Lantern, I'll have to look it up. I can't remember what it was, but there was another because that was between, I think, or after the core book had been canceled, but before the end of New 52, they were like sent to another universe or something.
Oh yeah. I think I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So with John as the leader of the core, because I think that we're going to find out based on the stories that are coming up that Hal is a really, really good Green Lantern, potentially the best, but he's not a good leader of the Green Lanterns, which I think is an important distinction. And I think John is a much better leader because he is more cerebral, whereas, Hal will just do whatever, right?
Yeah. But what's hitting me here? Tell me what you think. It's I think as again, they've improved the Guy Gardner's character since like the 90s and stuff. He's more well-rounded. It almost seems like maybe as they're elevating Guy, they're kind of pushing some of his more negative traits off on the John.
I could potentially see
he's
that.
more abrasive, and it's like
Yeah.
he's the one who'll take the kill shot and stuff. And it's like, was that guy?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And we talked about this last time. Is that hey, during New 52, they meet the new gods for the first time. What about Xanshi, right? So why is he the way he is when you take? Which I'm fine with him taking that away. And we've again talked about this a lot too. Kat Matui needs to come back, and we need to finally just get rid of and not worry about or even mention anymore Xanshi. It's done. It's over. It's great. Whatever. I think part of the reason why I didn't like him destroying Mogo is because it's meant to echo that and just amplify it. Right, he just killed another planet, and I think we had Guy last week say, you're going to send you to kill a planet. He goes, what does that mean? I don't think Guy said exactly that, but so I think that's really kind of the only criticism I have of War of the Green Lanterns is these specific plot points right here, in this issue. Once that's done, everything kind of plays out, I think, really well, and we get some interesting things that happen at the end of War of the Green Lanterns. Yeah. But I feel like Jon Stewart was kind of done dirty in this one.
I don't know. Is it just I don't want to think this way, but is it just his whole existence? Has John been what they needed him to be at the time? Like first he was the angry young man, and then he was more the
architect, and then he was his identity.
In the early '90s, he was kind of like the neutral middle ground between Hal and Guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It's so much was done with John within the Green Lantern Mosaic title, right? Mm-hmm. That was ultimately totally ignored.
I was going to say that's the other thing. Once we dropped the whole, they evacuated everyone off of Mosaic. We never mentioned Mosaic again.
No, we don't. They
might have mentioned it once or twice in the '90s. But that's it. It's like they never mentioned Mosaic.
Yeah, and we get Kyle reforms Oa, right, and the Central Power Battery. What was that? 160s of his series, 150s. I can't remember when exactly it was.
Oh no, wasn't it 150? He brought the planet. He brought Oa back. Oh, yeah.
Okay, and then later he brings back the Guardians.
Stuff,
yeah. Okay, but I think there's kind of a consistent attitude toward John as a Green Lantern and his character over the years, and he's overlooked and ignored most of the time. Mm-hmm. Now he wasn't in the last volume. What was that? Volume 7, 6. I can't keep up with the numbers anymore. The Jeffrey Thorne run.
Yeah. And
I thought he got some good stuff happening with him. We finally remembered that, hey, you dude. We got interesting developments, but I really feel like it was at the expense of of everything else. At Green Lantern at that point. We had another battery blow up. Again, really? Talk to Energizer. They'll make a better one for you. Okay?
Oh!
But, and again, I know there's a lot of people that have really, really strong opinions of the Jeffrey Thorne run. Mm-hmm. I think that there was some really cool and interesting stuff in it, but there was a lot of stuff, too, that I didn't like. That I thought was ultimately, not great for Green Lantern as a whole. Whereas I think it did some really good things for John. Making him an ascended being, making him, he has been a long time that we've just, ignored, because he was a Guardian. And then he suddenly wasn't. He woke up without his ring.
Yep.
Okay. Oh yeah, now I'm in a Dark Star. Okay. Cool.
So... Cool. Okay, not to harp on the John thing too long, but do you think out of all the Earth Lanterns, I mean, our 4 corps men, even the ones that come later, like Simon, Jessica, do you Joe, do you think John is the most inconsistently portrayed?
Well, I think that's a really fair point, because I mean, Guy has been fairly consistent, although amplified to cartoonish lengths during his original series, his Guy Gardner series, right? Hal has been fairly consistent, and then whatever inconsistencies he's had has been explained away by Jeff Johns with Rebirth and all that stuff, right? But John is he's nearly been around 20 years less than Hal, and a couple of years less than Guy. So yeah, he probably has been really inconsistently portrayed. And I think part of what we're seeing here is when we look back at John Stewart from a comic standpoint, he was never a Marine. He was an architect. He's always been an architect. And I think part of that success of the Justice League cartoon grafted that, military background onto him. And I don't know, and I think they sometimes fight, the classic John Stewart versus, new John Stewart, whatever you want to, call him. But I think one of the really good things about the Green Lantern War Journal title is it's trying to, mesh those back together, so that he's not just the Marine, he's not just the architect. Because at this point, anybody that's encountered John Stewart is going to know him as both, just because, that's how he's been portrayed for, 20 years at this point, right? If not more. Was the Marine, I know that he was added as a Marine in Rebirth, but did he have a background as a Marine during Kyle's run, during the latter part of it?
I don't remember them. I mean, unless it was like a quick reference somewhere, like a drop. But yeah, for the most part, I don't think so. No. Yeah, I think that, like you said, I think that was a Rebirth thing. So
a Rebirth ad? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that, and they probably did that because of the Justice League animated show, because I think he was a Marine in that,
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I would say that that's a fair point, that he's probably been one of the most inconsistently portrayed of the 4 Corpsmen, right? Yeah. Well, and which is funny because Kyle has been around for 30 years at this point, right? Mm-hmm. And again, this is me being, I of course love Hal Jordan. I think he's been really consistent, probably the most consistent of any of the 4 over the last 30 years in the way he's been portrayed. I mean, I think I think we owe that in large part to Ron Mars and Darryl Banks being there for so long during, from his first appearance until, nearly, 8 years in,
I mean, and two, it's like during during most of Kyle's run, he was like the only Green Lantern too, so he had time to shine, Anytime John Stewart's been in Green Lantern, it's like, oh, well, here's Hal Jordan off in the corner. Even though, when he's supposedly retired, it's like, yeah, he's coming. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, when's he getting that ring back? Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, this is really kind of my only criticism of War of the Green Lanterns. Although Krona is just bug-eating nuts. I mean, he's just crazy at this point, and we see that in multiple ways, I think, during these 3 issues.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they never come out and say it, but I would love a story to just be like, yeah, you know what? Part of the reason he's insane? Because he's been transformed by how many different crises? Because, again, it was like, first, he originally brought evil into the universe. Then he accidentally created the multiverse. Then that got changed by Crisis on Infinite Earths. Yeah.
And then he was Entropy during the Third Law or whatever that crossover was, pre-Emerald Twilight. Yeah, so it's
just be like he's old, and it's like, yeah, how many times has reality folded in on him, and changed him?
Exactly.
All right, so should we get to the last one?
You bet.
All right, let's see the ramifications of what John did. All right. Oh, cover for Green Lantern Emerald Warriors number 10. All right, Green Lantern Emerald Warriors number 10 from July 2011. War of the Green Lanterns Part 9. Writer Peter Tomasi, penciler Fernando Passarin. Oh, Lord. Inkers Cam Smith, Keith Champagne, Andy Owens, Sean Parsons, Jack Purcell, and Jay Liston. That's right. 6 inkers, kids.
Gotta keep the trains running on time, man.
I guess, yeah. Well, what was it? Was it the Green Lantern issue or the core issue? There was 4 inkers on that. So, yeah, I think they were really, yeah. Colors Gabe Edelab, inker Rob Lee, and editors Brian Cunningham and Darren Shawn. As Krona continues his plan to transform Hal and Guy into Guardians, pieces of Mogo fall across Oa. In space, Cal berates John for killing Mogo. He then attempts to restart Mogo's core, but fails. John teleports them to Oa to help Hal and Guy. Mogo's destruction weakens Krona's mind and dissolves his constructs, allowing Hal and Guy to break free from their chains. Hal and Guy take Krona and the Book of the Black and escape, but not before Guy punches Krona in the face. As they fly across Oa, Hal and Guy realize that the debris came from Mogo. Suddenly, John and Kyle appear in front of them. John admits that he killed Mogo. Hal tells John to teleport them to the central power battery, saying that they have a chance to remove Parallax and save the core. Hal, Guy, John, and Kyle unite their powers and unleash a powerful blast to the battery, but the battery is unaffected. Ganthet recovers and tells the Earthmen that to break through the battery, they must tap into the power of all the lights of the emotional spectrum. Ganthet gives the Star Sapphire ring to Guy and the Agent Orange ring to Hal. Before they use their powers again, the Earthmen and Ganthet are attacked by the brainwashed Lanterns. As Hal, Cal, and John fight the Lanterns, Ganthet tells Guy that he is the only one who can remove Parallax from the battery since he wields the 2 extreme lights of the emotional spectrum. He focuses on the things he both loves and hates and removes Parallax from the battery. The core is freed and Ganthet leads the Lanterns into containing Parallax. Hal, John, and Kyle remove their rings, but Guy claims he can't take the red ring off because it will kill him. However, Cal uses his blue light to purify Guy and destroy the red ring. The Earthmen then wield the Green Lantern rings and rejoin the Lantern Corps. Suddenly, Krona and the entity-possessed Guardians appear, and the battle begins. Tune in next week.
Nice.
Yes.
So, and this is in contrast to the last issue with John's kind of spotlight. Guy gets the spotlight here and, does something pretty awesome, using, although he didn't want a, violet ring. But, he ends up freeing Parallax, which is, the plan all along, which, we're not going to talk about the needless murder of, Mogo. But anyway, but yeah, I thought this was a really good issue and, showcased, Kyle is still, very annoyed because of what John did. I think Hal and Guy probably are too, but they're like, look, we'll hash this out later. we got crap to do right now, right?
Although if you had listened to us and went on to the central battery first,
exactly, this wouldn't have been a problem. But yeah, and this one reads fast too because we were, the accelerator's down and we are heading to the end of this. I think we've got 2 issues left plus the 2 issues of the aftermath.
No, I think it's just 1 issue and then the 2 aftermath issues. So yeah, it's pedals down.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Guy calls Ganthet Blueberry.
Yeah. And there's some really cool let's see, part 9. We've got, and this one actually, there's lots to go so fast. It still has lots of pages that have quite a few panels, although it has this kind of double page splash ish thing with the 4 Earth Lanterns and 3 panels above it. So and then it kind of starts backing out and having fewer pages or fewer panels per page as it goes through here. But then we get that wonderful splash with Kilowog, Hal, John, Guy, Aricia, Kyle, just everybody.
Oh, the last page there? Yeah.
Yeah. That is a really nice page.
Oh yeah.
And of course, Guy's, let's have the ass kick and start right here. But yeah, this is a really good issue.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah. Again, this was a decent event. We have one more part, but yeah, this was a decent event. It's better than Brightest Day, like we said. But again, it's a
low bar.
Well, yeah. But also, it's a Green Lantern centric event. No one else is involved, so
yeah, and it's very focused
yes.
too. Even though it's going across 3 books,
it's only like 10 issues and 2 aftermath issues. So yeah.
Yeah, so it's not 24 issues and a couple of miniseries after it to explain what happened.
Although once
and
again,
then all of those plot points get dropped, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly. But once again, it's like, yeah, bravo to the creative teams, because there are 3 different writers on this. So.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, it all reads really evenly, and it's good except for something that we disagree with.
Yeah. Again, I don't know. Again, it's just we calling out the inconsistency we see, and I guess different writers have different interpretations of John. It's just
Mm-hmm. It's just that I think you and I are both tired of Xanshi. Just so tired.
I know we should have kept count from episode 1, or at least from the road back. We should have kept count.
Yeah, exactly. Xanshi. But and we've been saying it for a long time. Kat Matui should be back as a Lantern, just because it was such a poorly done death.
Yeah,
and everything else from that run of Green Lantern in Action Comics Weekly, I said the thing that we don't talk about. I know. Has been completely ignored, and I'm okay with that. Let's just ignore Katma's death too. She's back, and hey, everything's good.
You could redeem everything in Action Comics Weekly. You could reveal Katma's alive and she's a prisoner of Malvolio. On the orders of Oprah Winfrey. That's
totally going to happen now. You know that,
right?
I know. You're right. This has been a really good event, and I think that's due to really the focus, but also it's just been really well executed. Krona. We may have had problems with the lead up to this with that New Guardians arc, which really felt like it was treading water for a while. But to be fair to it, it did slowly set up Krona and the entities and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Such that we were able to get this focused event because the work was done, back then.
Well, we'd had Brightest Day, dragging it down too.
That's true. Yeah, absolutely. So, this is really good, and I'm eager to read the last part plus the aftermath because I don't really remember. I remember what happens to Hal, but just to read it again and really get a sense of what's going on, and then read those 2 aftermath issues. Mm-hmm. Because once we do that, we've got a couple of issues of the core, I think.
Yeah. Here, I'll pull up the schedule, but yeah, next week's the last part of War, and then I think it's 1 Emerald. Hold on. I think we only have 3 more episodes before Flashpoint. Come on, schedule it.
Because I know 67 is the final issue of this volume of Green Lantern,
and I think that's next week. That's the last part of War of the Green. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because next week is 67, and then the 2 aftermath issues, and then we got a 3-issue core arc, and then a 3-issue Emerald Warriors, and then it's Flashpoint.
Wow.
So we only got 3 more episodes for Flashpoint.
Very cool. Very cool.
Then you know what that means.
It's
no more mutants.
Sorry.
All right. Anything else?
No, I think that's it, sir. That's a good week. It was a good week.
That's at Walred. All right. So yes. All right. So yes. So yes. Next week we will wrap up the Green Lantern core stuff. The War of the Green Lanterns with Green Lantern 67, and like I said, War of the Green Lanterns Aftermath 1 and 2. And of course, then we get to Green Lantern Core 61 through 63, and then Green Lantern Emerald Warriors 11 through 13 before we get to the Flashpoint miniseries. So, send us your thoughts. Email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember to find all things Capes and Lunatics, episodes, social media, merchandise. Get your brand new Capes and Lunatics merch with all the new logos. Again, there's a Cash App link, and it demands you rain the money on us through the Cash App link.
Make it rain.
Again, yes, treat us like that young naive girl dancing her way through school or whatever. Just rain the money on us.
She looks like she was just working a stripper pole down at Divas.
And of course, the Patreon, where again you're going to get something different every month. For June, Lilith and I did. We talked about most, if not all, of the major Marvel and DC characters, LGBTQIA characters from Marvel and DC. So, and when we think maybe hiding in the closet, Doctor Doom. All right, so. So find it all at tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. And yes, patreon.com/CapesandLunatics. All right. Now for this Will Allred, master of the Green Lantern Corps, master of the Quantum Zone, master of podcasting, and master of several successful Kickstarter campaigns. All right. So, before you get to that, Will, did I close your window out? I had it open. There we go. All right. So, Will, tell everyone where they can find you and your project and everything else.
Cool. Nice. You can find me at Walred. That's at WALLRED at Gmail and Facebook and Blue Sky and Twitter and probably Instagram and maybe a few others that I've forgotten at this point. But if you'd like to check out the comics that I write, you can do that at for Crossover Division. You can do that at crossoverdivision.com, and for Diary of Night, you can do that at diaryofnight.com. Crossover Division 5, we were hoping it was going to go to the printer last week, but hopefully it'll go this week. We just got a couple more edits to do on it, and then it will get printed and sent out to all the backers. So looking forward to doing that. It's a lot of fun mailing out these packages and seeing names that I see, from campaign number 4 or number 3 or number 2, and just seeing all these returning backers. So it's really kind of cool. I actually really enjoy that part of the campaign is, getting the books out into people's hands. But nice. You can check that out at crossoverdivision.com or diaryofnight.com. And finally, you're hanging out here with Phil and I. Listen to us talk about Green Lantern, which means one thing and one thing only. Probably means that you love Marvel's Quasar almost as much as we do. And if you'd like to learn more about Quasar, you can do that at the Quantum Zone, quantumzone.org.
Seems like I'm getting a package every other day.
I'll put it in my navel.
5 inches, maybe.
Hey, boys, you look at the party? I love the party.
I hope it's going somewhere nice.
They aren't even attempting to enter our orifices.
That's the one.
Yes.
I, of course, love Hal Jordan.
I do.
All right. Yes, we know. That's 5 minutes. All right, kids. Thank you for joining us. Again, come back next week for the conclusion of War of the Green Lanterns from Green Lantern 67 and War of the Green Lanterns Aftermath 1 and 2. And then Green Lantern Corps 61 through 63, Green Lantern Emerald Warriors 11 through 13, and then we're on to the 2 Flashpoint miniseries. And then what comes after Flashpoint?
I can't remember. Something.
New 52, the softest of reboots for Green Lantern.
I think you meant the most haphazard of reboots. Whatever.
Oh, the Alpha. Everyone goes so haphazard. All right, kids, come back next time. And remember, put your umbrellas out. It's raining Mogo. Good night.
Oh. Ouch.
That's what Mogo said.